every degree of mind and spirit that I possess will be devoted to the long-range interests of the United States.
I think we have to do is invest in American jobs, American education, control American healthcare costs, and bring the American people together again.
That's what I see. That's the America I know.
As US elections are round the corner, let's dive into their election process. There are three main elections for the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the President. First, let's talk about the House of Representatives. Members of the House of Representatives are elected for a 2-year term. The Senate, on the other hand, has staggered elections every 2 years. Staggered elections mean that only some of the places in the elected body are up for election at the same time. Each senator serves a 6-year term and a third of the Senate seats are up for election every 2 years. The President of the United States is elected every 4 years and can serve a maximum of 2 terms. In the US, the President is both the head of state and the head of government. Two main political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, dominate the political landscape. Candidates must meet certain eligibility criteria. They must be natural-born citizens, at least 35 years old, and have been US residents for at least 14 years. Campaigning starts about a year before the election, with candidates crisscrossing the country to win support. The US election journey has 4 major steps. Step 1. We have the primaries and the caucuses. Primaries involve party members casting secret ballots to choose their preferred candidate for presidential election, while caucuses are local meetings where party members select delegates who support their preferred candidate. Step 2 is the National Convention. Here, delegates from each party officially nominate their presidential candidates. The presidential candidate then chooses a vice presidential running mate, and together they form what's called the ticket. At this stage, delegates selected during the primaries and caucuses to represent the people will endorse their favorite candidates. If no candidate has a majority of delegates, the convention decides the nominee. Step 3 is the presidential general election. People across all states vote for their preferred president and vice president. While it might seem like you're directly voting for the candidates, you're actually voting for electors who pledge to vote for your candidate. When people cast their vote, they are actually voting for a group of people known as electors. Each candidate running for president in your state has their own group of electors known as a slate. This brings us to step 4, the Electoral College. Each state has a certain number of electors. States are divided into districts, and each district gets a single representative. The number of districts is determined by the population of the state, and each state has 2 senators. Number of electors per state is equal to number of representatives plus 2 senators. For example, California, the most populous state, has 53 representatives, therefore making the number of electors 55. Total electors in the Electoral College are 538. Each elector casts 1 vote following the general election. 538 is equal to 535 from states and 3 from District of Columbia. The candidate who gets more than half, 270 electoral votes, wins. How does this process work? The candidate who gets the majority votes in a state gets all its electoral votes. So, even if they win by 1% votes, they win all the electoral votes. For example, California has 55 electors, and if the vote share in the state is Republicans with 62%, Democrats with 31%, and some other parties with 5% and 2%, then all the 55 electoral votes will go to the Republicans because they have the maximum vote share in the state. In most states, the winner of the popular vote gets all the electoral votes. However, Maine and Nebraska divide their votes differently. A candidate can win the popular vote but still lose the election, as seen in 2016. Donald Trump had almost 3 million fewer votes than Hillary Clinton, but won the presidency because the Electoral College gave him a majority. Ideal situation for the president is more representatives from his party in the House. But because presidential elections are every 4 years and the House of Representatives are elected every 2 years, if the public is not happy with the president, they can choose more representatives from the opposition party, causing difficulty to the president to pass laws. Florida, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio and Arizona are the swing states in the US election. Winning these states is key to getting the magic number of 270 electoral votes. If no candidate gets the majority, then the House of Representatives decides the president. The newly elected president and vice president take office in January. For more such insights, follow the Asian Chronicle.